part of the Bunker Hill Ridge. Marines were already lying in the rocks across a short valley from Siberia, waiting for the jump-off signal. If the plan the 1st Marine Division staff had put together worked, the attack would cause such a commotion that the Communists would move men and equipment to Siberia from Bunker Hill, and the true assault would take care of those who had remained. There was enough light left for Lieutenant Peterson to have a good view of Siberia through his binoculars. He spaced his 3 gun crews well enough apart from each other that one hit from a mortar or artillery shell wouldn't knock them all out. His gunnery sergeant, Joe Latham, another World War II combat vet, went from one recoilless rifle to the next and back again, making sure they were secure on their tripods, and that the tripods were dug solidly in the hard earth between the rocks of the hill. He wouldn't allow any cowboys firing the gun while standing. It could be done, but the force of the backblast would send any normal Marine flying off the cliff. Well, there was Corporal Monroe Coleman, the strongest man in the outfit. He could possibly fire a recoilless rifle held in both arms, but having the weapon locked tight into a tripod best ensured accuracy. Beside each gun was a pile of 75mm shells, each one in a cardboard sleeve. Each recoilless rifle, at more than 100 pounds and almost 7 feet long, was tough enough to haul up the hills on every mission the platoon undertook. But those shells weighed 24 pounds each and were an unwieldy 2 feet long, meaning that a Marine could carry just 2 of them, one on each shoulder. Coleman, a tall and sturdy young man from Utah, was the only one who could do 3. The 3rd shell resting on the back of his neck, wedged between the other 2 shells. Lieutenant Peterson had already sent men, including Coleman, back down to the forward ammunition depot for more shells. Getting caught short at the wrong time could mean dead Marines in the valley below. Peterson, his lips pursed, watched as the tanks and armored vehicles rolled out, the units of the 5th Regiment in their wake. Seconds later, he heard the shrieks of artillery shells streaking overhead, and moments after that, clouds of smoke and dirt mushroomed out of the sides of Siberia, where the shells struck. The tiny figures of Marines closed in, firing their carbines and BARs as they ran toward the target. Peterson gave the command, and his gun crews joined in, the thrusting back blasts of the recoilless rifles spewing smoke and stones across the flat table of their position. It may have been only a diversionary assault, but it was a damn good show. Too good, as it turned out. The Chinese forces overreacted. The Marines had sold the distraction so well that the enemy believed it was the real thing. Reinforcements rushed off the Bunker Hill Ridge positions toward Siberia. That was the good news. The bad news was that more reinforcements were streaming in from other enemy positions. Within minutes, the Marines on the ground were badly outnumbered and at risk of being surrounded and cut off. Instead of being able to provide support, the flamethrower vehicles had to pull back lest they fall to the onrushing enemy. Same for the tanks, though they could still provide covering fire. The artillery barrage by the 11th Regiment batteries behind the MLR had to be halted lest the shells fall on friend as well as foe. Peterson held his breath, watching through binoculars, as desperate officers rallied their men to fight a rearguard action while hustling back across the valley. Every few seconds, the ground erupted when an exploding mortar shell tossed gritty soil and even bodies into the air. He could hear screaming, or maybe he just thought he did, having heard the agonized cries too many times before. "We gotta light it up, boys!" Peterson shouted to his gun crews. He himself had the best vantage point, being able to see the Chinese positions and attackers, as well as the pockets of retreating